I am Primal Piggy. Thank you for joining us for another in our slave training series. This is a new and updated, a revised series. This is the BDSM United podcast. And uh, previously, we were talking about erotic hypnosis. And we definitely want to jump back into that topic. First, we wanted to just give you the reason why we're even doing this podcast series that slave training, even though there's a level of trauma involved in shaping and molding and breaking a person and reforming them into a slave that pleases a specific master. The training process of slave training is very valuable and actually involves less trauma than if you bypass or skip the process altogether. When you do that, even though you'll eventually get to similar results, there's a lot more trauma involved in when somebody tries to do training kind of on the job. Oftentimes, the submissive doesn't know what's expected of them, and they're really just kind of learning along the way, oftentimes with a lot of physical punishments and types of things as they learn. And oftentimes, when a master doesn't have a training process already planned out, they often find it more difficult to communicate what they expect. Oftentimes, we like to say it's like throwing someone out of a boat into the ocean to teach them how to swim, rather than simply giving them some swimming lessons. So you can learn to hypnotize yourself by doing it. Here's a simple method that you can practice with no electronics, no gimmicks, and nobody involved except yourself. First, settle into a comfortable position in a quiet, private place. I recommend a comfortable chair, possibly a recliner or an easy chair, but you can use your bed or a sofa. Um, People who practice self hypnosis while sitting on their favorite yoga mat on the floor may work too. Whatever you choose is fine, but ideally it should support your body fully in a comfortable position. Take a few long, slow, deep breaths. Inhale completely, filling your lungs all the way, and hold it for a few seconds. Then slowly let the breath out until your lungs are empty. This is relaxing in itself and should help to clear your mind. Look at a clock or a watch, moving as little as possible, and note the time. Tell yourself, I will practice self hypnosis for the next X minutes, and then completely back, and then I'll come completely back, fully awake and alert. Start with just a few minutes, no more than perhaps 10. With practice, you can work your way up to longer sessions. Now close your eyes and imagine becoming a rag doll, every muscle loose and relaxed. Starting with your feet and working up to the top of your head, focus on each muscle group in turn and relax those muscles as much as you possibly can. Don't worry about whether you're actually going into a trance or not. Just focus on relaxing your body as much as possible. You want to feel as though each body part is too relaxed to move. Now imagine that the area behind your closed eyelids is a completely blank screen, kind of like a movie screen, and that every conscious thought you have creates a spark of light on that screen. Focus on keeping the screen as clear as possible. At some point, you will suddenly become alert again. Open your eyes and look at the clock. At first, you may not even get very far before your time runs out, and that's okay. You'll get quicker with practice. It's also very possible, especially if you're tired, that you may end up accidentally falling asleep. If that happens a lot, you should probably consider either practicing at a different time of the day or changing your position so that it is harder for you to go to sleep. You may want to reevaluate your sleep habits if you're that chronically tired. You may be surprised at how good a timekeeper your subconscious mind is. Most people come out of a trance pretty much exactly when they told themselves they would, plus or minus a minute. If you open your eyes and look at the clock and think, wow, that went by fast, then congratulations, you've just experienced time distortion. That's a hypnotic phenomenon in which a person in trance perceives time as having gone by much more quickly or more slowly than it actually did. That's one indication that you're achieving at least a moderate trance depth. If you use this method and you want to give yourself suggestions, you can do that in a couple of ways. If you're good at visualizing, you can replace that blank screen with an image, either still or moving, that represents the goal you want to achieve. You passing up sweets and enjoying a more healthful snack, perhaps, or dealing with a difficult coworker in a new, effective way. If you want an erotic experience, strip naked before trancing and letting a sexual fantasy of yours play out on that screen in your mind. You may be surprised at where your hands wander without your conscious mind even realizing it. Again, we recommend the book on erotic mind play, a guide to erotic hypnosis by Mark Wiseman. We also recommend that you may want to take in-person courses in neuro-linguistic programming or hypnosis, and using hypnosis with a submissive promotes deeper levels of intimacy, and it fosters better communication in the relationship. And so it's definitely a tool that you definitely want to consider looking into and incorporating into your aspects of slave training. I'm Primal Piggy. You can find me on Facebook at The Primal Piggy, all one word. You can also find us on Facebook at Whips, Chains, and Duct Tape. You can find that at WCDT BDSM. You can also find us on the web. You can actually see videos of us recording this podcast on YouTube, and you can find that link at bdsmunited.com. Thank you for giving us likes and subscribes and following us and leaving reviews or giving us a thumbs up if you're listening on Pandora. These are ways for you to connect with us, but they also help other adults connect with BDSM resources like this. And we find that when people are educated, it makes our entire BDSM community, our entire lifestyle, it's just better for everybody involved. And so thank you for playing your part in that process of educating others. It's been a joy speaking with you today, and I'll talk with you again soon.